Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, you lot. Oh God, I'm so tired. It's hard work watching football here in New Zealand, you know. Getting up at all hours. I love it, but it can knock you out, I tell you. Where do we start this morning? Let's start at the beginning. I got a green arrow. How did that happen? Honestly, I mean, that doesn't look spectacular at all, and it is not spectacular. 42 points, global rank of 5,568. It's enough to get a green this week. What a weird game week, eh? It was cutting it fine though. I mean, I didn't think there was an earthly that I was going to get any shade of green this week. Given where I was before the start of this morning's games, this morning as it was here in New Zealand, 21 points. Huge, ginormous red that actually grew to over 200,000 at one point in the matches this morning. But then, yeah, there's a few hard luck stories. I'll get to those in a second. But yeah, by God, did I dodge a few bullets as well. Probably the big one I would think is the Liverpool result. No, that meant that Van Dijk, who's got a reasonable ownership out there, got his clean sheet, but happily it was Kanate that picked up all the bonus and the DEFCONs and everything. But yeah, if Verts and Ekatike, to a lesser degree, Jobbersley, etc., had hauled, yeah, I'd have been in big trouble, big trouble. I'll run through the. Just don't want to spend. Honestly, I'm over the game week we've just had. Let me just run through this morning's highlights, and there were a few, to be fair. Let's make sure that's still what you see. That perfect. Okay, I won't go over old ground too much. Yeah, Verbruggen, just a 1-pointer. Chalobah, just a 1-pointer. Chelsea look awful. Manager's gone. Where does that leave them for City away? Caicedo suspended. Cucurella, is he still going to be out with this injury? Could be a bloodbath. Could be a bloodbath. This morning's games. O'Reilly, you have caused me pain in the past, but the pain that you caused me this morning. 3 minutes. Clean sheet. That clean sheet. Just for your benefit, run through these numbers. I normally put these into the spreadsheet, but because we just got such a tight turnaround between game times, there's going to be a few things get left off. But just sort of to give you an idea that 5 points would have been huge. So I'm currently just outside the top 1 million on 1,113,000 on 1,088 points. 1 million, just 4 points outside the top 1 million. So it would have popped me nicely inside the top 1 million. Clearly, my target at the beginning of the season was a minimum of top 50k. I did top 50k last year. To be honest with you, I wanted to hit top 10k, but the way this last number of game weeks have gone, that's going to be very challenging. So I'm going to try and bite off these targets a little bit at a time. So first thing is get myself back inside the top 1 million. Only 4 points outside of that, 1,092. Would have you there. 500k is not that far away as well. A little eating of into that with O'Reilly's clean sheet would have been very useful. Only 27 points outside the top 500k. That's where I really have got to target over the next 5 game weeks to see can I just get myself there, because that's where I was roughly by about 25-30 last year, and I came in with my 50k finish. So I've really got to get back to that. 1,163 points will have you in the top 100k. It's just 70 points. Now that sounds like a lot, and I used to think it was a lot. I've only been playing FPL for 3 or 4 years. It's only the last season and a half that I've been taking it quite seriously. It's only 70 points. That's very run-downable if I get my shit together. And yeah, 50k is just 86 points. This is all doable. It's very tight. Now, it's not saying, you know, there's obviously work to be done, but you see game weeks like this, just makes you realise how doable it is. Just stay steady, do the right things, don't panic. And we'll talk about my Game Week 20 team in a moment and what I am going to do or what I might not do. Get to that shortly. But O'Reilly, that was painful when he went off. That really was painful when he went off with 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes before the 60 minutes. Now, that's the rough bit. I was really hard to see Gavardiol. I was really happy to see Gavardiol get his rest. And I'll tell you, in the 33 minutes, I'm very salty about it. Pep, I hate you. In the 33 minutes that he was on, he showed more attacking intent and nearly had a higher return in terms of goals than O'Reilly has had in the 7 or 8 weeks that I've had him. Hit the post, lovely little flick of the outside boot with his back to goal. Thought he had hurt himself for a bit, but he was grand. And he obviously had that other chance. It's more than I've seen O'Reilly, certainly in the games that I've watched fully for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I do try and watch most of them. As you regular viewers know, O'Reilly is already gone, but we'll get to the game week. We'll get to the Game Week 20 team shortly. Lacroix, frustrating. Coughed up a clean sheet with 20 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go. Again, it's such fine margins. I mean, okay, so I know other people would have got these points, but yeah, 6 points there, maybe some bonus, you never know with the clean sheet. O'Reilly clean sheet. It just stacks up. Chow as well, pretty close, I think, in general terms, because they didn't cough up too many chances, did they? Newcastle, Mukiele, what a hero. If he was here now, I'd ask him to marry me. I was on a very small red with about 3,000 red with about a minute to go, and his DEFCON kicked in, and he ended up with a 3 bonus. So it was like, it was just that little bit, and it was effectively a 50k rank rise. And as I say, gave me that sort of 43,000 green arrow. Foden. Is Foden developing to a problem child? I don't know. But I ain't selling him. I'll talk about that in a second, why I won't be selling him. Obviously, I've already done transfers and taken hits. But even if I wildcarded, you know what? I still think I'd bloody keep him. Cunha. Okay. You never know what United you're going to get. You really don't. But again, potential problem in the future. But also, he's kind of holding my Bruno spot there. And I have worked out a way I can get to Bruno really simply through Cunha. I've got the exact money at the moment, provided he doesn't drop and provided the other player doesn't go up. And that could be something that could tempt me into the wild card. I don't think I'm going to, though. I still don't think I'm going to. I'll find another way to do it. Palmer, fine. 7 points. Still playing. Limited minutes. Got his goal. My regret there, because I was very close. My Desi predictions, Desmond delusions, panic predictions, Desmond delusions. I did say for the 2nd week in a row, I think Haaland's going to blank. I really like that Sunderland defence. They put their bodies on the line. They throw everything behind that ball. Faces, legs, backs, just to keep that ball out of the net. I love the way they defend. I mean, I was a central defender myself, and I can really appreciate the effort that they're putting in to keep that ball out of the net at all costs. I just think they're fantastic. I thought McKilly was fantastic. I thought Alderete was absolutely superb. Really did. Alderete has gone onto my watch list as well, which is a transfer that may well happen. He'd certainly come in on the wild card if I did go there. And I haven't 100% ruled it out yet, but I'm 99% that I'm sticking. Alderete would be there in a heartbeat. I'd take Chow out for him, and I'd have Alderete. I've got 1 million. I'm quite happy to play a Sunderland defender any given game week at the moment, the way they're going. So I'd still stick to my 4-5-1, and in some game weeks, absolutely have a double Sunderland defence. I thought they were superb. I really did. Mukiele, legend. So where does that all leave us? Haaland captain. Yeah, nearly went Palmer. I was very close to going Palmer. Really close. and I didn't, once again for the second week in a row, didn't follow my gut reason. Just the risk on Palmer's minutes. I knew he'd be probably coming off just after 60. Kind of glad to see him come off just after 60 as he's got his goal and everything, because it means that he will probably start the next game. My concerns was, no, sorry, it's not a concern, is honestly I'm wondering, do I actually bench him for City away? I think Chelsea could get ripped asunder. I really do. Okay, let's say goodbye to that game week. Thank you for the green, but it was an entirely frustrating game week. Glad to see the back of it. Let's move onwards, but not necessarily upwards if I stick. I may have to accept a red this coming game week, because it will be hard to claw back a -8, which I have taken. Spoke about it at length yesterday. But I do like the look of this team. I really do like the look of this team. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are really engaged managers. I know you are. I talk with many of you, and I'm sure you watch other content providers as well. I went to bed for a sleep after the football, had a couple of hours, and as I was sort of lying in bed, I was sort of, humming and hawing. Do I wildcard? I got a green. I could consolidate that next week, this coming game week, with another green. I could just actually hit the wildcard, but lose that -8. I'll make just a few more tweaks, and some of those tweaks probably would be move Chow down to Alderete. Tottenham away is not a bad fixture. I know it's not as good maybe as Palace at home, but what that does is free up, because I think there will be price changes here. It frees up 1 million, which is exactly the money I will need to move to Cunha, to Bruno in a few weeks' time, exactly. And I do believe for Alderete, I don't know, I'll need to check the price rises and price falls, is likely to go up given the way Sunderland are performing. I think those 4 million defenders are going to be just flying off the shelf like hotcakes, as they say. So, do I just do it anyways and do that move, even if it's the only move I make, and just do that one move, so I've got that path to do that? And as much as I say I believe I'm capable of managing through the season, as I did last year, the second half of last season, with no chips and doing okay, it is still better to have your chips. So let's make no bones about that. The wildcard chip is the most powerful one that we've got. It gives you that ability, as I say, for that complete reset, or to play into, to build up 5 transfers, play into a double game week, with your triple captain, or like a little mini free hit, and then wild card out of it. It is just the most powerful chip. Let's make no bones about it. I think I just have to take the risk. I'll tell you what I'm sticking. Sorry, I'm waffling a wee bit. Still a wee bit tired, guys. Sorry about that. I was close to thinking, maybe I do just do this. And then as I was lying in bed, I had a couple of the other game week reviews on, and I was listening to FPL Tom. Now, you guys know I've been talking about this 4-5-1-5-4-1 for what feels like forever. You must be sick of me. And I didn't go there like I should have gone. I should have gone 7 or 8 game weeks ago. There's no question. There's no question it's the way to go. The numbers, Captain Hindsight, but it's not Captain Hindsight. I knew it was the way to go. I just didn't do it. I'm doing it now. But listen to the last 10 minutes of FPL Tom's last video, where he's just reviewing the game week just gone. Just listen to the last 10 minutes, and he's pretty much named my team that I've got there. A couple of minor differences, but he's very much talking about that the sort of 4-5-1-5-4-1 model is the way to go. There's a shortage of midfielders, forwards not doing it, and the numbers just really back up going down this path. But what he also said, and this is the dream, sorry, what was the point I was making a second ago, as FPL managers, we dream of getting ahead of the template. And the thing that's encouraged me and why I've got to go this path now, and it could prove a disaster, of course it could. Of course it could. Is it's going to take managers time to get there. He pretty much named my midfield. Certainly the Palmer, where they're saying, we're going to work out how we're going to be able to get Palmer in, Foden, the Saka, the Rice. It's literally the Cunha spot was the one he was talking about. That is my Bruno spot. I've got a plan to get Bruno there. And then just Haaland up front. So go and have a listen. I know there's one or two in our own league who did go there and have done very, very well the last 7 game weeks. So do you think it's the way to go? It's nice to have a little bit of affirmation, but as I say, the thing is, commit down this path now with this 4-5-1, 5-4-1, for better for worse, possibly both, and just do it. And maybe that's the one that can get me some good rank gains over the next 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks before everyone's there. If everyone does go there. This is where I think it's heading. This is where I think it should have headed quite a while ago. Let's see. Waffle. Sorry, tired brain, guys. I really do apologise. Yeah, so that's it. Listen, I'm really happy with this as a team going out. Tarkowski, Gavardiol, Gabriel, Chow. Quite happy to have a Sunderland boy in there. If I'm getting lucky, maybe I'll go there. If maybe those price rises don't kick in, I'll be having to keep an eye on those. Midfield, fine. Some concerns in there, but who do you replace? This comes back to the point. Who do you put in there instead? It's thin pickings, really, So ultimately, the cream does rise to the top, and certainly we know Rice is going well. Hopefully the flag gets removed. Saka's just chugging away consistently. We know Foden's explosive. Okay, he's had a couple of dodgy games. There's some reasonable fixtures coming up. That Chelsea could be one where he bangs in 2 or 3 goals. Palmer, I've only had him 3 or 4 weeks. He has had a return nearly every week for me on limited minutes. Palmer could end up on the bench, in fact, for Mukiele this coming game week. We'll see. Cunha, United, blow hot and cold. I think we're better away from home than we are at Old Trafford at the moment, for whatever reason that is. So we'll see how that goes. But as I say, it's that Bruno placeholder space, and it will also become that floater space that I talked about in a couple of game weeks' time if Bruno's not ready, just to target a few fixtures, like the teams playing Wolves, and obviously Haaland up front. And currently Mukiele on the bench, and that was the other. I swear to God, it was like listening to myself, listening to Tom this morning talking about the bench and the way to play it. Right, let's go through it by the spreadsheet numbers a little bit. So okay, so I guess the thing there is, if I had taken the hits as I thought I should have done, but didn't do, so no, don't take any hits, says a game week or 2 ago, I would have been this team, bearing in mind, what was it, I finished on 41, 42. The team would have finished for this game week 10, bearing in mind I would have had the Mukiele points off the bench, would have been 54, would have been about 60. That would have been a spectacular score this game week. Yeah, really wish I'd taken those hits at this point in time as opposed to this week. Might pay off this coming week. Never know. Yeah, but you can see there, if I take those Mukiele points, game week 19 would have been just on the 60 points, which would have been fantastic, even taking out a couple of hits that would have been needed. Anyway, it is what it is. The team then as it stands, so that's how I'm lining up at the moment, with Verbruggen, Tarkowski, Gavardiol, Gabriel, Chow, Cunha, Palmer, Foden, Saka, Rice, Haaland. We can see this 11 in the last 5 game weeks they would have played. I've obviously got Gabriel there for his first 4 fixtures there, 15, 16, 17, 18. They are obviously the 4 fixtures before he was injured. Spoke about that yesterday. I'm not going to bang on about that again. But we can see there is a nice sort of ceiling there in that 80 points. But the other weeks there, the 68s, the 75s. last week was a disaster game week for everyone, 37, so that's fine. It's going to happen, obviously, but even this week, it's showing the consistency of the high numbers, because you just need 2 or 3 of these boys to haul, and bang, and then what we haven't had, obviously, for the last couple of weeks is Haaland captaincy hauls, so you put a captaincy haul on top of that, happy days. So it's showing a 62.8 for this coming game week. How are they generally doing sort of on their averages? Yeah, Verbruggen's still there on a 3.4. I've done okay with them. I've had the 11 points out of the Verbruggen Dubravka rotation, so that's fine. So my actual average I'm getting out of the keepers is fine at 3.4. Tarkowski's showing a very nice 5.6 there, 5.8 average. So going forward with fixtures like Brentford and Wolves at home, we hopefully can achieve that. Similarly, Gavardio, his average is actually brought down a little bit by the fact that he just got 1 point for the game week 19, so that has actually dragged his average down a little bit, and he's still showing an average of 7. I don't think Chelsea at home is anything to worry about at the moment. I'm pretty confident he's going to play, and Desi predictions, Vardio's going to pay for my hits. I thought he looked really dangerous when he came on, from the set pieces, he's a fabulous player. It's just, I mean, Soslow, of course, O'Reilly will play next week and he'll haul. But you know what? I don't care. I'm just fed up watching him. Gavardio gave me more joy for the potential that he's got in the 30 minutes of that, the last 30 minutes of that game, than O'Reilly has given me for weeks. Even when O'Reilly picked up clean sheets, it all felt very precarious. Gabriel, yeah, Bournemouth. Gabriel captaincy, anyone? Probably not, because I have a feeling that Haaland is going to bounce back big. So my prediction, I'm starting to get a feel for where Haaland struggles. Haaland brace, his captaincy will stay on him. I think Chelsea could be in trouble, as I say, with the Caicedo suspension, Cucurella out, and obviously potentially no manager. Chow, yeah, fine. We got a 4 this week. His average is very low there. You know, I could bump up those averages quite easily, I guess, by bringing in Mukiele, who's on a very nice healthy 6 there on the subs bench. Tottenham away, I don't hate that as a fixture, in all honesty. If Mukiele was to come in for anyone, it would probably be Palmer, in all honesty. I haven't made a decision there. I'll do that as a deadline decision. But Palmer, you know, is gradually creeping that average up. I've only had him since game week 16. He's returned in most weeks for me. Moderate, but steady. But Palmer, penalties. City will cough up a chance or two. Having to think about that one. I'll have a think about that one. But I'd have no issue at all with playing Mukiele. Of course, I may need Mukiele, of course, to come in for Rice if he is not ready. And I am 100% comfortable with that as well, of course. Yeah, Foden's numbers are now dropping. That's 3 blanks in a row. But again, I look at those fixtures. He's a streaky player. He is a bit of a flat track bully. You know, some of those big numbers came in these sort of easier fixtures. Chelsea home, I actually think is very green at the moment. Brighton home is good. Man United, very green. Wolves home. Foden's going nowhere. We know what he's capable of. There will be a fire sale. People will be selling him hand over fist. Happy days. Honestly, happy about that. Because it means his points will actually mean something. Rice, I'm quite happy to hold on to Rice for a game week or two, even if he's injured. But it does sound promising, please, that he will be back. You know, 5.2 average there, which I know, based on for injury, etc., the direction that he was heading, and again with some of those fixtures, won't be too bad. Sorry, we've got a bit of a power tool going on outside. Hopefully that's not too distracting. And then Haaland, who is now, you know, numbers have gone down the last couple of weeks. The average is he's only had, you know, 2 returns, albeit good hauls, in the last 5. Chelsea home, I think is a good fixture. I actually think I think they're a green fixture. I think that's a green fixture against Chelsea. I really do. See what happens. Currently, Mukiele on the on the bench. He was anything but on the beach this morning. I fancy him. I fancy he's going to come in somewhere. There's going to be a rotation somewhere. What nice bench cover to have though. And as I said, if we look at my watch list there, he has so been added to it. Even if I left the D out of his name, I've got a dodgy D on the keyboard. You'll see the occasional D missing on things. So Oloriti, average of 8. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in fact, you know, is there an argument to play him over Chow? Just have a funny feeling. What nice bench cover. Really solid bench cover. Because something is going to happen. Something is going to happen. Someone's going to get benched. So this is all by way of saying, I'm going to take the -8 on the chin. Hope one of these guys comes in for me big. You know, a Tarkowski or a Gvardiol with the mega haul. You know, because the 3 transfers in were Tarkowski, Gvardiol, and Gabriel. So that's the -8. My team, I like it. I'm really excited to see how it goes. It could all fall flat on its face, of course it could. This is football. It's impossible to predict. Those numbers there at the moment for the sort of last 5 games where they have played 60 minutes or more. In fact, some of those weren't 60 minutes or more. Some of those were highlighted. They weren't. So that average could actually be higher. A 62.8 with a brace from Haaland. That's where I want to be, and get those captain points on top of that. That would be very, very nice indeed, and see that run consistently up to 25. And I would say if I can achieve that, I'll be well inside that top 500k, and hopefully this has me a little bit ahead of the template. This all pear-shaped again. It's the plan, guys. This is what we do, and I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling positive. At the Miracle Green this morning, FPL Tom is talking about trying to get to where I am now and being there in 2 or 3 weeks' time. So if they're starting to talk about it, that's where it's going to go ultimately. Particularly why we are starting to lose faith again in our strikers. We're running out of choices in the midfield. I mean, we really are just running out of viable choices. So currently, I'm sticking. I'm not wildcarding. That chip is too valuable to use, where I think I only need the 2 transfers. I could potentially like to make that 3rd, because I could save that 1 million, which gives me the very easy Bruno move. But I don't think it's worth it. I've got other little ideas and ways where I can actually get there, which might need 2 transfers by the time we get to, where is it? Fulham home in game week 24. My ideal world, I just want to roll a few now and just let this rumble along for a couple of game weeks, just get a couple of transfers up my sleeve. The likelihood of that being able to happen, the squad is thin. 1 injury, and things will change. I really hope that noise is not coming through too badly there, so I'm going good over the power tool outside there. So I'll leave it at that, rather than waffling on about this. I'll be back before the deadline to do Bishop Brennan's Cup, locking my team in, and because the deadline is, it's just around the corner, isn't it? But 24 hours is crazy at the moment, isn't it? The nice thing, let me just check. 1 day, 7 hours, 30 minutes and 27 seconds. The nice thing, I think, with deadlines coming around so quickly though, is and you guys know I overthink. It doesn't give me time to overthink this. This is what I'm doing. Keep an eye on the pressers in case I do get some bad news and there is suddenly 2 or 3 players out. Then yeah, absolutely, that is still the same plan. I will hit the wildcard button and I'll make some further tweaks. But if there's no bad news in the pressers, this is what we're rolling with. The prediction is 62.8, but fingers crossed for a Haaland hat-trick, and happy days ahead. Take care, have fun, play your own game, don't panic. I'll see you in less than 24 hours. Bye for now.